Hello, YouTube. Excuse me. Welcome to Allie's Wonderland Creations. I am Alice Seraphin, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. And this is my first alternative video, video number 1 for March 2023's Paper Pumpkin Kit called 10 Years of Growth. It's an alternative card. And boy, is there so much in this kit, y'all, okay? Trying to stay calm. Excuse me. My acid reflux is acting up today. All right, sip of a drink here, and let's get started. So, okay, this kit. Y'all know I will not do one of the kits as they are supposed to be done. I really like doing my own thing. And ideas just keep going in my head round and round, and it's like I just can't seem to get them all out. But this is the flyer sheet, the directions to show you how to do this, and they are beautiful. I got one each of excuse me, the card bases. So there's this bookshelf, this really pretty window, and this with the gold foil polka dots, which is really cool. And another idea just came to my mind. Oh my gosh, I wonder if I can do it. The gold leafing, I might have to get that out and try it with... Okay, I've got to grab it right now off of the shelf, or I will not. So I need to put this, my gold leafing stuff, which I have never done. I'm going to stick that on the floor next to me. So that's the instruction sheet. This shows you what you could do. Beautiful stuff here. And all the little things, and it looks like stained glass, which this looks really cool. This is their little flyer for April's month. Next month comes with a free box organizer that's perfect to store your ink spots and other crafting goodies. Ooh, love it. Thank you, Stampin' Up! And you got an extra stamp set this month. That's my extra sheet. So let me show you. I guess it maybe turned over. This is I think it's supposed to be happy. Not sure. Yes, that way. Okay, I was like, looks like these. I'm losing my brain. It has these beautiful lilies. My mother would have loved this. Spring, Easter, anniversary, to call your friend. To call you friend. Happy to call you friend. This greenery, this pot, these little dots. These are wonderful too. It has this little sprig here. To a wonderful mother. Here's to 10 years of growth. That's what we're using. This says Mother's Day. You deserve the best. Sending all our love. And birthday. There is so much in this kit you can do. It's absolutely insane. So, I wanted to show you, let's show you the project. So this is my gorgeous card, and the inside is so pretty too. Brought in all the colors. Lilies happen to have been my mother's favorite flower, and I have several of her lilies in my yard to this day. So that's our card, but let me show you. I pulled out all my pieces, and I've got some other things in there. So it had these sprigs in Coastal Cabana. These here, it had those. It has a whole bunch of little, it has some little large pots, little pots, some sentiment strips. Shake those down in my little tray here. It has these and these. I mean, there was so much in this kit. 3 of the happy in the gold, this fern, this leaf, and it's still going. These little ones, little pots. Let's see, is there anything on that one? No. Okay. So anyways, that's just a look at some of the goodies that were in this kit. Let's go over what we're going to need for our kit. You're going to need an envelope because we're going to stamp on one. We have a card base that's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and it's in fresh freesia. Then we have a layer of Coastal Cabana at 4 by 5 1/4. And then we have a second piece in basic white for the inside of the card. Then we have, you can see I've got pieces done already. So cardstock layer number 2 in basic white is 3 3/4 by 5. Now I used an old corner rounder to do my corners, just to add a little interest in it. You'll need a strip of crumb cake that's 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4, and I ran this through the timber embossing folder. I haven't cut mine down as this was a scrap. Cardstock. To do the lilies, I'm going to show you how I colored the green and the yellow, but you'll need a piece of basic white that is 2 3/4 by 3. Now inks, we're using a lot of ink here, okay? We have Shaded Spruce, Garden Green, Old Olive, Fresh Freesia, Coastal Cabana, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, and Daffodil Delight. I got sponge daubers, a blending brush, and blends of Old Olive, Daffodil Delight, and Balmy Blue. So let me put my notebook up here, and I'm going to bring in, you're going to see our sample that we did, and you can see the little mess on there. We're going to flip that over and start a new mess here. So I'm going to set my card right there, and I'm going to show you how I did the flowers. First, I stamped it in black memento. Then, this is so simple, y'all. It really is. Do not be afraid. I took dark Old Olive, and I did the center stem, and I did that on all of them. Just put a little hint of the dark. Then I came back in with my light, and I just did little circles. Okay, you can add more color. Remember, you can always add color, but you can't take it off. Not even with the color lifter. It doesn't work. Okay, so I took light Balmy Blue and I went around the entire image that I was doing. Then I took my dark Daffodil Delight and I did the inner part of my Daffodil Delight color, the inner part of my lily. And then I took the light and I just went over the lily. Really easy to do. No problems at all. So that's all there was to the lily. We're going to set that aside because we are going to start. Oh, here's my piece of crumb cake. Now this is actually craft. I know I wrote crumb cake, but it's craft, and we're going to go over it with crumb cake. It's a gorgeous day. So here's my crumb cake. Now I'm just going to take it and lightly brush over the embossing that we did with the timber embossing folder. And I don't think you guys need to see me do that. It would just make the video much longer than it needs to be. So I'm just rubbing in that little bit of color, and I love doing that. So we are done, maybe, with the crumb cake. Let me set that aside. My blends here need to go over there for a moment. And okay, let me show you. This is from an old paper pumpkin add-on kit. We're using that today. So we're going to start, stamping. I'm going to put our envelope and our insert piece aside for the moment, as those are going to get stamped the same way. Our Coastal Cabana, we're using this little, instead of me stamping, this one came with a little flower pot. Instead of me stamping the flower pot, I thought we would use one of the white flower pots and color it in. So this piece here, our Coastal Cabana, can go onto our card base. Just making sure, where is my large bottle of Tombow? So we're just getting things together here. All right. Colors are absolutely, the colors go great together. I would not have chosen them. It's just not me. So here is our little flower pot, and it is embossed, and I want to do it in Fresh Freesia. My husband was looking for the dogs. I got some of them out here laying in my room. So I'm taking the Fresh Freesia sponge dauber, and I'm just going to go over my flower pot. You can always add color, but you can't take it off, so careful when you start getting it too much, but I really like that. So there's our flower pot. And we're done with the Fresh Freesia for now. I'm going to set that right there. We're done with this strip. We're going to set that there. We're done with our lily. It's time to start creating our background. So I need my blending brush, my Coastal Cabana blending brush, which went crazy. Okay, there it is. We're going to start with Coastal Cabana. It's up here. Got lots of stuff everywhere from trying to figure out my first card. So I'm going to take my Coastal Cabana, load that brush up. I'm going to start off, that way it's not so stark. Then I'm just going to start adding color to about, what would you say, 3/4 of the piece at a diagonal. This right here, I'm going to add some Fresh Freesia to. So just start adding the color on. You can always add it, but you cannot remove it. So go around the outside. The more pressure you apply, the darker your ink is going to apply. So I start with really light pressure, trying not to get those swirls. And I'm going to load it up again. And then we're going to use some stuff like stencils, what we punched all of the bits out of. We're going to use those. So that's where I want my Coastal Cabana. That is all done for now. Won't be using that again. But since I don't have a blending brush for Fresh Freesia, I need to come in with the sponge dauber. Trying to pick up quite a bit of that. And you can see where it's kind of not at a direct angle. I'm going to bring in my Fresh Freesia and do little swirls. So. This is going on much better than it did the first time on my sample, I'm telling you. That did not, it took me forever to get the color I wanted. Okay, Fresh Freesia is now done and accomplished. Now the fun stuff. Okay, all of these were cutouts and I'm keeping all of them. Not going to use these two pieces, but I'm not going to use that one either. That's a third, that's a happy, might use some of that. So I chose to do the same piece. One is to be used in this direction and this one is to be used in this direction. We're going to start with this in the center. I'm going to show you how I kind of figured out what I was doing. It really doesn't matter really which way I put it. So I wanted on my card, I wanted my focal point to be roughly on this lower area on the right hand side because I want to stamp my sentiment up here. So I wanted to use these as stencils to do more greenery behind my flower pot, the focal point of our card. So I put my flower there, then I held my stencil and I just simply removed it. And that told me where I was going to do. So on this, I used 3 different colors of ink. I had to break out my label maker and label all of my little sponge daubers. So we're going to start with Garden Green. I need to put my card away so nothing happens to it. Garden Green is going to start, that's going to be our fern. Oh, start off, and I'm just pouncing straight up and down. I don't want to go blend. I don't want to go roundy round. I just want to pounce the sponge dauber up and down. And if you've seen my other videos, you know I've done this in the past. Make sure you get the stem. All right. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Now, I know from my other one that I want a fern to go the opposite direction. So I chose to just, instead of possibly getting ink anywhere else, I just chose to bring in the other fern. Another sheet. I'm stamping off first, and then I'm pouncing. And I'm probably going to do this a couple of times. All right, now I have my two ferns going. Oops, see, I got a little carried away. That's okay. Shaded Spruce is going to cover that up. So that one is done. I'm going to set Old Olive way over there. Open up the Shaded Spruce. And we're going to go back to the first one. And this one, I want to make sure I get that as close as I can. Is going to go right there. So Shaded Spruce is coming in, and we're going to sponge off a bit, stamp off, sponge off, and come in with the Shaded Spruce for this big leafy image. All right, so there's my Shaded Spruce. Now I want this to go in another direction. So I'm going to bring this one, trying to keep all of my stems somewhat together. I just want to bring this over to this side, sponge off, and I'm going to add it this time a little lighter because I don't want to cover up the other green. I just want it going. See how it's a little lighter that way. Now, I'm not going to bring any more over here, but we are going to go back to the other stencil, okay? And this time we are using, let me see my card. Yes, I didn't use this stencil. I used the other one because we only did one in Old Olive. We're using this great big one right here. So Shaded Spruce Sponge Dauber away. Let me close her up. Trying not to get ink on myself. Though I should have left it open because we're going to need it again. So Old Olive it is, maybe. Garden Green. Old Olive Sponge Dauber. So load it up. This time I'm going to bring, let's see, bring it right about there. So Old Olive, start off first, because I don't want it too stark. I just want to add a little bit more green in there and a different color. So off first, because you can add it, you just can't take it away. There's no eraser to erase the ink. All right. Let's check her out. Oh, very cool. I think it could go for just a little bit of something right here. Just a little hint of that. So we're going to go ahead and go for it. Oh, love it. That's all. So there we have it. Now we're going to close up our Old Olive. We're going to bring our image back in. Look how lovely that looks with it all. And our sentiment for this card, you could do the Mother's Day. I would have if my mom was alive. I'm going to stamp directly onto my paper here, my cardstock. And here's to another year of growth. Oh, love it. That's an early espresso. And that's all we're doing with the early espresso. So put that one aside and the block so nothing happens. Next, we're going to bring in our strip. You're going to see how we're going to adding it like a shelf would be. And I'm just going to bring in some Tombow, and I'm going to add it right here where I want it. Then I'm going to take it and we're going to snip off the end. Right at the end of the stem, or wherever it is that you would like to put it. You can see this is from a very old paper pumpkin. I found this when I was going through stuff. So there's our shelf. Here is our flower pot. Ooh, so nice. But I think it needs a little bit on that flower pot. So let me grab my little basket here, because I had this little strip of Coastal Cabana for cutting Coastal Cabana down. And I just want about that much. So I'm going to bend it, bring my guillotine, because I need, well, I guess I don't need, as it's going to be trimmed. But I'm going to cut off a little bit. So start with 2 inches, and I want about 1/4 of an inch. I don't want a lot. I just want a little hint of Coastal Cabana on my flower pot. And I'm going to stick that back in it. And where is my little dots? Yes. And then we're going to stamp the dots on top. And let's do it in Early Espresso. They'll be nice and they'll show up. So I'm going to start here. There. Oh, we could add some, you know what? Yeah, I was adding Daffodil Delight on the inside with these dots on the envelope and stuff, just to tie in some of that yellow. But let's go ahead and add it in here, just because we can, guys, just because it's there. So we're using those dots that came in the kit, and we're going to add us a little touch of yellow. I'm stamping off first, just like that, just a little bit of yellow in our little floral arrangement here, taking liberties with it. Oh, really like that. That will tie it into the front. Okay, so here's my little bit of Coastal Cabana. I'm going to add it to my flower pot. Just a little band, hopefully, if it sets up here. Give it a second. And then I'm going to snip off my edges. Round them with the flower pot as a guide. I really wish I could find my scissors. Every time I go to use scissors, I wish that. All right, so flower pot's going here, and we're not putting the flower pot on dimensionals. I'm just going to add some glue to the bottom portion right here so it adheres to my little crumb cake layer. Now this, I'm going to add some here and some here, and since this isn't glued down, it's just going to get tucked down in there like so. Now, these 2 flowers are going to get too little dimensional, so I need to add a little bit of glue to the back of the center flower. And we take our 2 little ones, and I'm just bending back my flowers. They will not mind, but I like the way this gives it depth and dimension. As this is flat, you'll see. It gives it that curve to it, and I really like that aspect of it. I just do. So next is the fun part. Let's put it on its card base. And I really love that little bit of yellow, that Daffodil Delight on this card. So there we go. Now we do need to put something sparkly on the front. or something. It doesn't have to be necessarily sparkly. Something subtle. We're going to go ahead and use the pearls. Oh, those would be cool. I think we're going to use these little stones. I don't know why that is appealing to me at the moment, but we could do a combination of the stones and other goodies. So I really like the idea of adding these. My beautiful pokey tool Miss Gloria Wolf gave me. So we're going to add one here in the center. Ooh, yes, 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 yes. Okay. This one. There. And maybe this. I really like this. I love it. So we can add. Is that the same one? We want a different one. We don't want the same one there. So we can add this one right here. I'm going to put 6 of them. Did I put this one yet? Oh, we can add this one. I'm not sure I want that one there. Needs to be bigger than that. What have I not used? I haven't used this one yet. This little faux sea glass. Look at that. And we do need one over there. So we'll make you go right there. Ooh, that is really cool. But I still want just something right here. And I want something sparkly. I want something sparkly to add there. So let's see. No, this would be so pretty. But I don't have any more little ones. No. Oh, yes. No. Where's the basic jeweled rhinestones? I don't have many of those left. There. That's all I need. Just a little hint of sparkle. I need to order some more. And there goes all the dogs. One dog in the neighborhood starts and they all go nuts. And so I had one. Let's see, we're going to add one here. We're going to do that little triangle effect thing that people do on cards, including me. So, very, very cool card. And now we just have to stamp the inside. Let me put all my goodies aside. Oh, lovely. Hey, Feathers, please stop. Like pleading with the dog. Oh my gosh. It really did need those, but I love that on the bottom. Very, very cool. Okay, we are going to stamp the inside and the envelope. And they're going to be done the same way. So I'm bringing back the Shaded Spruce in the Garden Green. And we're going to use a couple of more images from this double stamp set. We're going to use this leafy one and this little one. This is going to be the Shaded Spruce. Let me get that out. And we're going to use Daffodil Delight. We're going to use 3 colors. So we're going to come in with Shaded Spruce. Let's ink up the whole image right here, then there, then there. So that's all. No. That's all there is to that one. And then Daffodil Delight. Stamp off. One in the center. Just reaching across everything. I've got 3 dogs laying out here with me, guys. In fact, we can go ahead and do stamp off first. I almost forgot. Here, we're going to do a little bit there because we're going to do the same 3 pattern. Oh no, they hurt somebody, and here they go. Sorry, guys. I cannot control the dogs. I wish I could, and that's my husband yelling at them. Okay. I am almost done. I wish they could behave. So that's Garden Green Shaded Spruce. This is for the inside of our card. Now I have all 4 dogs out here. I got my own big pack here. So we are going to do the same thing. Garden Green for the flap. So yikes. There it is. And where's the shaded spruce one? So there, and I got to stamp off again. I wanted a little bigger there. Now we're going to bring in our Daffodil Delight, stamping off. There, just adding that little bit of color mixed in with our leaves. And now we are completely finished, but we have to glue our insert piece for the inside of our card together. But I want to set all my ink pads away from myself because I don't want to like hit them on accident and ruin my beautiful, beautiful card, because to me it is gorgeous and I had such a good time playing and designing it. So, and all that greenery behind the lilies is what really makes it stand out. And the inside is just as pretty as the outside. So I am extremely pleased with this card. So there you have it, our card. Oh, and Wink of Stella, we can't forget that. We want the lilies to sparkle and shine. So I think I might need to push a little bit more. There we go. We'll even do a little bit on our leaves, but lots of Wink of Stella on the lilies. So there's my card, the first video for March 2020's Paper Pumpkin 10 Years of Growth, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you watching, and I really hope you come back and visit me in my wonderland. Bye-bye now.